The subject we are going to discuss today with you is regarding the new headache or the new requirements for the ECDIS implementation and the connection between ISM and companies' management procedures. The time frame, as you know, started from the 1st of July 2012 and normally has to be completed until July 2018. So more or less, we reach at least the middle, and a lot of companies has already complied with these requirements. The requirement, as you already know, it says that vessels has to be provided with ECDIS according to specific requirements and regulations for the installations and also some other statutory requirements we are going to see later on. But actually, are we ready to comply, or how effectively we are complying so far for the vessels that they already implement ECDIS on board their vessels? The definition of the ECDIS, for most of you, you are familiar, actually is a navigation information system which, with adequate backup arrangements, can be accepted as comply with SOLAS requirement, has specific electronic navigation charts with position navigation sensors to assist the mariner in route planning, route monitoring, and if required, display additional navigation-related information. So actually, is a navigation information system that is connected with several sensors. In simple words, is a computer. In summary, the statutory compliance that we have is SOLAS, the same exactly as it was with the paper charts, but now we have also the requirements for electronic chart display, the ECDIS. We have the IMO resolution, that this resolution is according to all the approval requirements that this system has, and the installation. We are talking about STCW requirements, reminds you the Manila amendments. And also we have the ISM code and several clauses as clause 6 and also some other we are going to see next. But actually is only an equipment installation, as all the others equipments that we have within vessels is a new equipment that we have only to fit on board our ships. Actually not. And why is that? Because the ECDIS is a complex safety relevant software-based system with multi-point option display and integration. The ongoing safe and effective use of ECDIS involves many stakeholders, including seafarers, equipment manufacturers, chart producers, hardware and software, maintenance providers, ship owners and operators, and training providers. So actually, it's a risk assessment exercise. It's a big management of change. We have to identify the possible hazards, how we are going to mitigate the risk, and how we'll amend our safety management procedures. Is the risk clearly defined? The risk in relation to ECDIS operation can be considered as a hazard or source of navigation errors with potential to cause loss or harm to personnel, the environment, and the ship itself. Example of hazards, the equipment itself, as we said failure of hardware and software. The charts are not updated, not corrected. The operation of ECDIS, poor trained crew following poor navigation practices and procedures. The transition from analog tools to electronic tools. Connection with other bridge equipment. So finally, after we are having this risk assessment, this risk exercise, the management of change, as the oil major would like to know and to verify, we are coming back to the requirement of the ISM code of the amendments of 2010 that says that we have to build up, to prepare our procedure, our safety management procedures according to a risk-based approach. Related clauses are 1 to 2 regarding risk assessment, is 1 to 3 about compliance with mandatory rules and regulations, is 1.4 fundamental requirements of the code, 6.3 the crew assigned to new positions to be familiar with the equipment they are going to work with, 6.5 identification of training needs, clause 7 about seaboard operation, 8 emergency preparedness, reminds you that if we have 2 ECDIS installed with backup arrangement or one, what we have to do in case of failure. Clause 10, maintenance of software, hardware, for example, or if the company, through the risk assessment, will identify that, decide that the equipment is critical equipment. And clause 12, also 2 sections, 2 clauses, 12.2, and also that is about evaluation of related parties with ISM-related tasks, and also about internal auditing. Based on the result of the initial risk assessment and training, procedures to operate the ECDIS safely and effectively should be identified. And this is something very important we have to consider with. Based on the results, the procedures have to be tailor-made to companies' needs and expectations. Procedures can take the form of a checklist or checklists, more detailed written ECDIS procedures, even a flowchart. Example of areas to cover: master standing orders, normally has to be amended, chart room management, arrival departure checks, passage planning and watchkeeping, watch handover, sensor failure and blackout planning, emergency preparedness, familiarization or pre-joining familiarization, training and identification of training needs, plant maintenance and critical equipment procedure failure. Another task that the company has to answer with and to comply with is about the document control. The company has to decide what kind of records are related with this equipment, has to follow the company's procedure about document control, and all these procedures has to be on-board update in order the crew, first of all, but also the shore staff, to know and to comply with.